Good morning. So, it has been a while since I've talked to you. I can't believe how long it's been. I was just looking at my vlog footage that I accumulate, and I'm like, has it really been that long? It seems like just a month or so, and I think it has been since the fall. Sorry, boo. So, let's just dive in. There's been a lot that's happened. Kids are getting bigger. Henry got to see and play in his first snowfall. I mean, he had snow last year, but he was a tiny baby. This is the first time he really got to experience snow. He got to do that. I had a new granddaughter born named Serena. And Amelia is pregnant with her second baby, another boy. His name will be Noah. And so overall, life is good. I mean, life is never perfect, right? But life is good. So let me just update you. Let's just start where we left off and go from there. I mostly have been up to finishing my bathroom, which we talked about in the last vlog. Took me a while to get to it because I was so burned out on it, but I'll insert some footage here of the finished product. We're done, and it looks great. Now it's springtime, and my goal this year was to do the flower beds and decorate the patio, because if you remember, that was a disaster. For a long time, it was a disaster when they had to tear down my old pergola, build the new one, and they completely destroyed my yard and all the landscaping in the process. I had always budgeted the money to redo the patio and the flower beds and the landscaping this year because it's been a few years and it needed done now that everything's finished out there. So that was a big project. The last house I lived in, they had a huge flower border around the backyard. The lady had lived there 50 years, and so she had worked on it for that long, and it was mature and beautiful and full of all kinds of things. And I had decided that I wanted to do the same thing here. So this year was the start of that, and getting that all dug out, and I planted a couple of things. So let's just dive into where we left off. We'll start there. So first off, I knew that Amelia had a baby shower coming, and so we needed to go get her cake ordered. So we went to Kelsey Elizabeth's, which is a local bakery, and they always make the most delicious, yummy, beautiful things, as you can see. I mean, look at all this goodness. So Freya, Courtney, and I went and ordered her cake, and we brought home a couple goodies for us too. Then my house flooded, and so I had to get that all cleaned up and dealt with. And then I decided to turn this wall into a gallery wall. So I put a bunch of things that I already owned. I bought a couple things new and thrifted a few things and tried to make a pretty gallery wall to fit in with my Samsung Frame TV, because you can use pretty screensavers on there. And that's one of my favorite quotes: all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. I think it turned out pretty. I like it.
So as soon as Fred gets here, we'll go outside and get started. I do need to run back to Lowe's or Home Depot and get something to kill the grass that's growing in my flower bed. I've tried 2 products already and the grass is still there just looking at me smiling like, good morning. So I've got to find something. Tried to pull, it's pretty deeply rooted. I can't even get some of it out. So anyways, we're gonna do that. I did buy some flowers for my front flower bed yesterday and we'll get those planted today. They're so pretty. Let's look at them. So they're all here just waiting to be planted. That's a hydrangea bush growing back there. So that's gonna take up that spot, probably more, I don't know. But this is what we have so far. I think I wanna get one more of those tall ones. I can't remember what they are. Delphiniums, maybe? Anyways, I wanna get one more of those. And that's a rose bush. And then I just have some little fillers. And then I have some stuff to start the backyard because we're gonna need a bigger boat. We need a lot more than that, and I need to fill these planters. I'm getting ready for Amelia's baby shower, is why I'm wanting to get all this done pretty quickly. So we're having a tea party. So I went to the thrift shop and bought a bunch of old teacups and saucers. And here's my hat I'm gonna wear. And then this is all garden and patio stuff that still needs hung up. I got some Moroccan lights and different stuff. Started getting everything pulled out and set up, but we're not quite there yet. All along that fence line, the whole way from the fire pit up to here, is going to be a flower bed. In the last house that I owned, the old house, if you remember, I was buying, didn't last long. That's a whole other story for another day. But I owned it for about a year. And the backyard had this very mature, beautiful border that went all the way around the backyard. The lady that lived there before me had owned the house for 50+ years. And she had really cultivated a beautiful border around her backyard. It was so special, and I want to recreate that here. So first steps to get it all dug up and ready to go. We've hit a few roadblocks in the last few days trying to do that, of course. First, I have really heavy, thick clay soil where I live, and it's not easy to work with. So my goal had been to like till it all up and then put some soil conditioner and perlite and different things in that to amend the soil to get it easier to work with. So you should see the piles of compost and everything that are in my driveway. It takes up the whole driveway. And my garage stinks to high heaven because it's full of soil conditioner and bags of chicken manure to help condition the soil. But anyways, stinky. But the reason I'm in such a hurry for this, like I had said, was because I'm having this baby shower for Amelia in 2 weeks here. So the pressure's on to have it looking good. Anyways, I'm gonna enjoy my coffee before it gets cold, and I'll talk to you in a little bit. So I have this hose splitter so that I can use my normal hose and I can have the timer. Unfortunately, you have to have all this other stuff on the timer and it wouldn't sit flush. So I don't know if I'm gonna have trouble keeping this tightened because every time it swivels, it wants to come loose. I guess we're just gonna have to check and see. This is a hammer arrestor so that when the timer shuts off really quickly and stops the water flow, it doesn't cause hammering in your pipes that will hurt your pipes. This is a filter, a cartridge filter, to keep all the little particulates from clogging up your little irrigation tubing lines. And this is a pressure regulator, sets the pressure to 25 psi max. And then this is the adapter so that you can hook your tubing to the hose. The plan is to run it from here to where that downspout is, and then have it tee off and some continue down there behind that flower bed and some branch off this way and get to this post of the pergola and go up. There's no pretty way to do that unless I wanted to take it over, bury it in the gravel, and then it just seems like a lot of work. So I'm just going to have it run from here to here. I thought about taking it all the way up to the roof and over, but that seems like such a waste of tubing. This is the back corner. There's not that many people in here. You know, people don't spend time in this back corner. So I'm thinking I'm just going to run it across the pavers to the post. And then I'm going to run it up the post, across that beam to the front, and then across the front of it. And I'm going to have little feeders coming down to each hanging basket that will be there.
When I said I was budgeting for flowers, I was not playing around. It took me 2 trips to get all these flowers home.
So if you ever install drip irrigation in your flower beds or wherever, word to the wise. If you don't have super strong hands, and even if you do, because Fred had a lot of trouble with these too, when you have to like join 2 pieces of hose together, you know, you have connector pieces and it plugs into this piece of the hose and then you plug it into that piece of the hose can be super stiff. Even setting the hose out in the sunshine for a few hours to loosen it up a little bit doesn't always help. Sometimes I really struggle to get those pieces in there. So what I like to do is I take a to-go cup. Like I take a to-go cup and I fill it with really hot water, and this will keep the heat so I can take it with me while I'm working out there. And then when it's time to join pieces, I just take the lid off, I stick the end of the hose in the water for a few seconds and let it heat up, and then I put the piece in there and it helps it so much. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm heating up the water for my hose.
At least it's a pretty day. It's very chilly, so I do have a sweatshirt on, but I would say it's about 50 degrees, probably.
Okay, so current state of the situation. I have the timer here. I have all of that here. And then the tubing runs, you can't see it back there, but there it splits off. I have put a T fitting, and I have tubing continuing down that way. Looks like something's been digging in my mulch. Probably looking for bulbs and seeds to eat. Going down that way, and then I have another piece coming this way where it goes up the pergola and runs toward the front, where I have it going all across the top, and then little 1/4 inch pieces that come down here to my flower baskets, and I have like a ring of emitter tubing that drips water into my flower baskets. Looks like something has been sitting in this one. That looks a mess. What happened to you, lady? Anyways, same here, same down there. And then here I have another piece. One goes down to my basket, and then another piece comes this way. And are you following me? Another piece comes this way and comes down. I have a branch going off to this basket, a branch going off to this, a branch going off to this one, and then I have a little dripper going into the back of my water fountain that feeds it with water. I'm supposed to put distilled water in it so that it doesn't calcify, but we're gonna see how it does. I figure if I blow it and it doesn't work good, or it messes up the fountain, this is a very inexpensive fountain. I want to say it was only like 30 bucks. So I won't be too heartbroken. I mean, I won't be thrilled with it, but you know, we're trying and testing to see how things go. Then I also have drip coming down this way. One feeder going into here, one feeder going into here. I have the main line comes down here. That's 3/4 inch tubing. Comes down here and then feeds all of this. I have a dripper into that basket. Goes under the gravel. And the main line goes all the way down to the corner. All of this is obviously dripped. Already done. And this looks empty, but I have a ton of seeds and corms planted in here that just haven't grown yet. So we have like Lysianthus, we have a bunch of ranunculus, I planted more peonies. So I'm not sure that we'll get a bunch of results this year, but we will get them at some point. These are some trellises I need to go hang on the other fence for my climbing roses. But you can see back there, I have some white tubing. So then that 3/4 inch comes out. I made it 1/2 inch up here because I don't need that much, but it runs down here. So then I have this whole bed fed, and the white tubing, if you can see under the eave up there, that white tubing continues down here. And then I have it coming down to feed, the light's horrible, to feed all of my, that's so pretty, all of my baskets up here. And I have one coming down there. And then all of this is fed, obviously. And it comes up here to my Veronica plant, which is growing but is not sprouted yet. So what I need to do today is I need to join a piece into that, and I need to run it across to here, and then I need to run it all down there. When I used to do like projects and stuff, I would get comments like, you should vlog all of it, and I'm like, all you guys would hear is me cussing. I just hot and frustrated. Happy birthday. I saw it on Facebook. So I've uncoiled it the best I can, laid it the straightest that I can, and I think I'm gonna let it sit in the sunshine for a few hours more and let the sun straighten it out a little bit if possible. Girl, I'm exhausted. I've been out here for hours. I didn't plan to be out here for hours. This is ridiculous. Okay, so what took the longest was digging a trench there to bury the hose under the gate. But I got it all buried in there, and I got it hooked up to the smaller tubing, and I'm up to here. I'm up to my bird bath. I want to find a way to bring a piece of tubing up and over, and I think I'm going to hook it to a bird bath with a command strip or something so that it feeds my bird bath and keeps water in it. Alright, we're going to figure this out. I guess I just need to see it on and see how it works. I will be so excited for my lawn guy to come and mow my grass. He skipped a week, which was really irritating. Let's see if our thing worked. It worked. I should have brought scissors. Oh, look. The hose came out. Oh, no. Alright. We gotta figure out a plan B.
I made a no man. I said, tell me your story. He took out a notepad and wrote something for me. Then he kept walking on down the road, and I watched him disappear like smoke. And I thought I'd just seen a ghost. Then I looked down at what he wrote. It said, son, when you grow up you'll be fine. I know you've got questions on your mind. Life is gonna happen one way or the other, whether you like it or not. Stop looking for the answers and you'll find what you've got. Searching for glory. I took out a notepad and wrote in my story. Then I kept walking on down the road. When your time is up, it's time to go. I pray he reads what's on the note and takes to heart what I wrote. I said, son, when you grow up you'll be fine. I know.
Good morning. It is Saturday, May 3rd, and it's a few days later from when I had previously started this vlog. It just got away from me. I got busy doing so much stuff. I was working. I didn't film a whole lot. So come along with me while we finish up for this little baby shower. It's not a whole shower. It's just like a little sprinkle. My house is half decorated. As you can see, the decorations have fallen down. Now they're just hanging in the middle of the door. So we have to fix that. The same thing happened over here. They've fallen. So anyways, the shower is tomorrow. I still have a whole to-do list of things that I need to do before then. Some things in the house, and even though it's pouring down rain, I have things to finish outside of the house because I'll insert a picture of the current state of my driveway. It still has like compost and mulch and sod and stuff in it. I put a post saying that it's free on Facebook last night, and somebody said that they were going to come by it around 10 a.m. to get it. Fingers crossed that they actually do, because I need all that out of there, and then I need to power wash the driveway and the sidewalks. So, you know, nothing like waiting until the last minute. It's just been hard work all week to try to make it happen, and here we are. I got a lot done outside, which I'll show you in a little bit. We need to finish cleaning up the patio and getting it all pretty, and some finishing touches in the house. Anyways, hang out with me today. Pretty. As thank you gifts, I have to get this looking a little prettier, but I got a thing full of fans and handkerchiefs, different colored hankies. I thought I had bought packs of flower seeds too, but I don't see them anywhere. Good morning. It's Sunday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And I am fresh out of the shower, waiting for my hair to dry. And I have just a couple of hours until the shower. And don't you know, it is raining outside and yucky. I think the rain has pretty much stopped. But it's cold and wet, so I don't think anybody's going to be sitting out here. So I did all this work really for nothing, but at least it looks good. I can't wait till these all grow. That's going to be a big lilac tree over there. I'm so excited. So it's time to start getting all the food out and get the cake on the stand and get all the macarons set up. My garland fell down again. I don't know what to do to get it to stick up there. I've tried everything. I've tried tape, I've tried command strips. Might just have to find a tack and try to stick it up there. All right, let me get to work. Courtney showed up to give me some help setting up, and we finally got to dive into these delicious macarons from Kelsey Elizabeth's. We got lemon and I want to say strawberry milkshake. They were delish. If they weren't so expensive, I would have gotten 3 times as many. The raspberry ones are my favorite though. Lots of free advertising for her. Hey Kelsey, sponsor us. I hope it's heavy. Get this wagon out of here. Where should we put this? I don't know. We don't need any more. Do we need it?
I don't think so.
We can take it out to the trash can.
Can you put on shoes, baby? Come here. Let me tie up your dress in the back. I don't want it to drag you. Your hair tied. Yeah. Just while we're getting stuff ready.
Veronica,
What?
here is your reminder. Make iced tea.
Oh, thanks, bitch. Courtney's finishing set out the desserts. She's putting out the cake pops right now, which were huge. They're like regular popsicle size. They weren't tiny little round ones, and they were delicious. This cake was so beautiful. I mean, how lovely is that? We had all the favorite foods that the pregnant mama requested. We had chicken salad, croissants, deviled eggs, mac and cheese, all the things she specifically wanted. And it was a nice little luncheon. And we had tea because it's a tea party. So we had beautiful tea sets and teacups. It was a really beautiful day. One of her friends that showed up was also pregnant, so they took belly pics together.
and I thought it just turned out great. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll talk to you soon.